What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Tyler Perry's Sistas. You guys, I do apologize that this video is late, you guys, but this is Sistas. You guys, I want to come up with a new intro other than What Up, B Squad. Like you guys know, like Misha has Hey Girl, Hey, Funky Daniva has Nessa Girl. I want something clever, like the girl on TikTok. She got everybody's so creative. Like I want something I want something that's for me. Help me with that, you guys. Help me with that. But yeah, this is Sistas, season 6, episode 15, you guys. And this episode was titled "Too Close, Too Soon," you guys. Now, before we go ahead and get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and then having me pay for it at the end of it. And you guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning your post notifications on, and sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Sistas, shall we? All right, you guys. So I might be a little sweaty because I just got into the house from my lunch break, and a nigga just realized I don't have any air on. I was like, it's hot as hell in here, and that means that I slept all night without the air on. But I sleep with my ceiling fan on, and that bitch goes sky high, so I'm fine. But Jesus, so you guys, this episode of Sistas, it wasn't a whole lot, and so let me say this again before I delve deep into this review, because somebody left a comment last week on my Sistas review that they weren't subscribing. That's fine. Like I said in the Oval video, this is Tyler Perry's show. These are not real people. I don't really care. I'm not upset about any of these storylines. I just think that the stories don't progress at all. And I don't know if people felt the way about me talking about the whole situation of that scene being on the bus. Let me tell you a quick little secret. I rode the bus for a whole year. So I'm not above or below riding the bus. I've ridden the bus before. So yeah, there's that. Now, this episode, we open up the episode with, where we ended off last week's episode with Zach, Fatima, Karen in the grocery store, right? So Fatima, she asked, she noticed the little boy, and she asked Fatima, "He got you doing all of this?" And she asked, whose baby is this, Zach? Is this the baby, the other baby? Yes, Karen, this is him. He didn't say that. I was thinking this, right? So Fatima asked Karen, like, what is her problem? And Karen says, "It's you." I was like, what is your issue with her? Inquiring minds would love to know, Karen. Please explain to us, what is your beef with Fatima? You have no beef with Fatima. So Zach did tell her, yes, that is his son. And she asked, are you going to take care of him? I was like, Karen, what are we doing here and why are we doing it? So yeah, she asked him, is he going to take care of the baby? Because she just wants to know that her child is going to be taken care of. So Zach and Fatima start to walk away from Karen. And Karen is following behind them, talking to him. And Fatima was telling Zach to, like, go to the car. I'll take care of this, right? So Karen's saying if they doing co-parenting to Fatima, that they need to be cordial with each other. And she needs to know that her child will be treated right. And so Fatima was like, Karen, I've told you this multiple times before, that yes, we need to be cordial. And if your child is with me and Zach, your child is going to be well taken care of. And she says, unlike that little boy right there, who his mother has abused him and done him wrong. You will be a good mother to your child, so you have nothing to worry about. I was like, that was big of Fatima, because you know what? We're going to talk about Karen in just a little bit. So next up, you guys, we then move over to Calvin. So Calvin got home, and Maurice was sulking. I was like, oh my God, Maurice. You guys know how I feel about Maurice. You guys know that I love Maurice, but there are times that Maurice just annoys me. So Calvin says that, he's going to bed, and Maurice was like, why don't you stay up with me? Since he won't be around for much longer, right? And so Calvin said, well, Sabrina's, making a call to, I don't know who she was supposed to be calling, but he told her that Sabrina's still working on it, right? And so Maurice is beating himself up because he feels that he's at fault for this because of the type of men that he chooses to date. I won't blame Maurice for that. I won't blame Maurice for that, right? I won't, it's a cycle. you have to willingly want to break that cycle. So I won't blame Maurice for that. And I don't blame Maurice for anything because Maurice knew nothing about what Q was doing. What I will say with Maurice is people did warn Maurice about Q, mainly Sabrina, but we cannot throw everything onto Maurice because Calvin also played a part in this. Because at one point, we have to remember, Maurice told Q no, but he kept coming home. And who was in his apartment? Q, because Q was, buttering up Calvin. So I'm not gonna sit here and just place the blame squarely onto Maurice. You know what I'm saying? But let's pause here, you guys, and let's move forward. All right, you guys, sorry. Somebody's texting me, so that's what's taking me a little bit of time. Now, we move over to Zach and Fatima, right? So Zach and Fatima, they got home with, is the baby's name Michael, you guys? Please correct me if it's not. So they got home with the little boy, and Zach was with the little boy on the couch. No, it was Fatima who was with him on the couch, right? And so Fatima at one point noticed something on his back. Now, the camera never panned to his back, but I'm assuming, this happened to me once before when I was a little kid. This happened to me when I was about 6 years old. I remember it like it was yesterday because my mom was so pissed. She was so pissed. So the thing about me is I have very, very, very sensitive skin. So the slightest bit of touch it'll fuck up my skin, right? So what happened is I was over to my aunt and my uncle's house, right? And I had did some things. Me and my cousins had gotten into some trouble, right? And they disciplined us, right? And so my aunt and uncle typically were the disciplinarians. And I'm from the school of whoopings. I know how people feel about whoopings today, but I was from that school where you get your ass whooped if you disobey what we say, right? And typically it would be my uncle who would do it, right? And so this particular time, my uncle did not do it, and he had one of his cousins do it, right? And so when she did hit me with the belt, it tore my leg, like my legs. I had webs all over my legs. They were big and swollen and puffy. And I couldn't really sit down because she had hit me that hard. And my mom was pissed. So I was wondering if that was a situation of what happened with this little boy, if they beat him so badly that he had webs and bruises all over his legs. And although my face is brown and dark, my lower my hand, if you guys look at my hands, my forearm, and even my chest and my legs and stuff, I am very light. My feet, I'm very, very light. So if you hit me, everything is gonna show up on the, because I'm very fair skinned down, in other areas aside from my face. So I was wondering if that's what happened. Because even at one point, Zach asked the little boy, where does it hurt? And he lifted up his leg. Mind you, he's not talking. And Zach questioned that later in the episode, why is he not talking? I feel like the little boy may have autism. Did I turn the fucking heat on? Because it is hot. I don't feel no, oh Jesus, I turned the heat up. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna have to get through this thing real quick because I turned the heat up instead of the air. God, I'm hot. So, he asked the little boy, where's the herd? We see Danny. So Danny got home in that loud ass outfit trying to sneak in, right? But Preston was awake and waiting for her. And so Danny told him about Andy's date. And he asked her about the flower in her hair. And she was like, oh, they're selling flowers on the street. So she was getting ready to go take a shower because she has to get ready for work. And she has to go to work in the morning, right? And so she's in the bathroom and old boy texts her and she's smiling. And Preston had to go to the bathroom and pee. And he was looking at her. He noticed. He's like, what are you smiling about? I was like, Preston, I don't think you want to know. And here's the thing with Tyler. We have waited for Danny and Preston to get together for God knows how long. And now you introduce this storyline. Why, Tyler? Why? Let's pause here, you guys. And we're going to move forward so I can turn this heat off and turn on some air. I went down instead of up. All right, you guys. So next up, we move over to Karen, right? So Karen went to go see Andy before she went in to work. So Karen is telling, Andy how she went over to Zach and Fatima's place, right? And how, she was so, she told Fatima she was sorry. And then, she's telling her that Zach went through a lot of what this little boy is going through. So, actually, no, Karen went over to Zach and Fatima's crib. My bad, you guys. She went up to Zach and Fatima's crib. She's apologizing to Fatima, and she's telling her, how Zach went through a lot of the same things that, again, you guys, is his name Michael? If his name is not Michael, please correct his name in the comment section, you guys. But she's telling her how Zach went through some of the similar things that this little boy is going through. And she also came over bearing gifts because, when they were in the store, she realized that they didn't have, a car seat for him because Fatima told Zach to put him in the back seat. And so she brought over some stuff. And I was like, so Karen can be nice. Like, here's the thing with Karen, and I don't want people to think that I just dislike the character Karen. I don't. I just don't like the angry side of Karen because that's a stereotype of black women, and I don't like that. So Fatima invited Karen into the house, right? And Karen was like, I'm good, right? She says, maybe one day I will be able to come into the house, but not right now. So Karen told Fatima that, I'm not even mad at you. And Fatima said, likewise. So Karen, I get that you said you're not mad at Fatima. Why have you been doing the things that you've been doing? It doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Now, Andy, we see Andy and she's working out at home and Karen came by. So Andy let her up. And so Andy asked her, what are you doing here? And Karen was like, she wants to apologize. And she said, okay. So Karen says that she's trying to have sympathy. Actually, she asked Andy to have sympathy for the pregnant woman. I was like, girl, you're 4 days pregnant. But nope, Karen lets us know that she is 2 months pregnant. I was like, say what now? Okay, Tyler. Whatever, right? It is what it is. So she did tell her how things ended that she did end things with she and Aaron, right? And that she just wants to be alone. And I think that's the best thing for Karen is to be alone at this point. That's just my personal opinion. But she tells Andy that she is scared, right? And Andy told her that, with the salon, I'll help you with that. And I was thinking to myself, how is Andy going to help her with the salon when you gave your money to Sabrina for this whole bail thing and you don't know that the charges have been dropped against Sabrina? So I was entirely confused. Like, I was so confused about that because Andy had to go borrow the money from Robin to be able to have all the money for Sabrina. So, girl, where do you get extra money from? Inquiring minds would love to know that, right? Inquiring minds would love to know that. So then Karen told her about running into Zach and Fatima with the little boy. And, she told her how she went over there. She talked to Fatima. She dropped some stuff off for them and things are good, right? So Andy told her about the date. And so she said that the date was good. And so she says, do you think you'll go on a second date with him? She says, yeah, but I don't think I'm going to sit by the phone and wait for him to, call or text, which you shouldn't, Andy. But you do that for Gary, which is the crazy thing about it with Andy. You do that for Gary. Ugh. Let's go ahead and pause here, you guys, and move forward. All right, you guys. So next up, Sabrina. So Sabrina went over to Maurice's place, right? And Sabrina had this little sour look on her face, and I couldn't quite figure out what it was. But Maurice knew what it was. He said I was right, wasn't I? And she said yes. And I was like, oh, about bio. But here's the thing with Sabrina. You didn't know bio that long, so I was kind of confused why she had that distressed look on her face. She did tell them about bio saying that he would get the bail revoked. And I don't remember where I saw this at. I might have saw it. Misha might have mentioned it, or Ashley might have mentioned it, or it might have been in their comments section, right? But bio didn't put up Sabrina's bail, like I just said a few minutes ago. That was Andy and Robin. Bio gave the money for Maurice's bail. So the only person's bail he could get revoked is Maurice's and not Sabrina's. So there's a little hole in that storyline right there when he said that. And I didn't think about it until after I did my video on that episode. But yeah, so she told him about that. And then she told Maurice that she's going down to Andy's office. Now here's the interesting thing for me as well. They just dropped the charges last week, but they haven't yet told Sabrina and Maurice that the charges have been dropped. I find that very odd. I find that odd that you haven't told the two people that this affects, that the charges have been dropped against them. Interesting to me. But hey, it is what it is. Y'all, when Maurice was talking about Andy, how when he walked into the room, the men flock to him. When she enters the room, they run away from her. He's big, she's small. He was reading Andy up and down, and I cracked up laughing, you guys. It was hilarious. So next thing we see is Zach. So Zach is feeding the little boy, right? And so Zach turned his back to take a phone call. And I think it was Fatima calling him about their meeting with the attorney, right? And so Zach says, "Yeah, we'll be down in a little bit." And then he turns his head and he notices that the little boy is stuffing the food into his pockets. So Zach told him, "Hey, you don't have to do that. Like when you're with me right now, and I got you, so you don't have to worry about anything." And then let's go ahead and wrap that scene up with Zach, right? So Zach and Michael, I believe his name is, they were leaving. And as they were leaving, who was outside with the police? Heather. The one thing that I will say about Heather is I hate the fact that Tyler writes her to be so ghetto. Like, he stole my son. Girl, it's not stole, it's kidnapped. But it is what it is. So, Danny, the one thing that I want to say, because in this episode, Danny was going to work. At the end of the episode, Danny was going to work early, which Preston didn't catch on to that. I know he was talking about it, but Danny is late to work every day. Why do you think, like, I would ask, what's going on today that you want to be to work early? She said, oh, she's trying to beat the traffic. Nah, Danny, it's more than just the traffic. It's something else that you're not telling me. And I'm like, oh my God, like, Danny is literally going to fuck up this relationship. And he asked her how are things. He gave Danny the opportunity to tell him if there's anything wrong in the relationship, right? And she didn't say anything. And I'm like, Danny, you're gonna really fuck up this relationship for a guy that is eavesdropping on you in a Scooby-Doo mystery machine. No. But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. And until next time, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next one.